In the following video, I'm going to be doing a small getting started with the latest version of Fusion, which is known as FusionFX, and it's version 19. This is the latest release of the software from 2020 Technologies, and a huge change has been made to the user interface of the program. On first inspection, what you'll notice is that the look of the program is a lot more modern and follows the Microsoft ribbon, which you would be familiar with in Microsoft Office products 2007 and upwards. Taking a look at the design screen, when you do a brand new installation or an update installation from an old version to the latest, this is most likely the screen that you'll be presented with. We see the ribbon toolbar at the top here with 4 constant tabs: Home, Insert, Annotate and View. We have 2 panes side by side, the catalog items and the navigate view, and our design space, which defaults to plan view. In this video I'm going to be focusing on catalog items and navigate view, and what are some of the options that we can do with these 2 panes and how we can customize our design space. Both these items are dockable, meaning that they can either be docked to certain portions of the screen or actually moved, picked up and moved around, and either floating or docking to the screen. Right now the navigate view is in a floating position and the catalog items is docked to the right hand side of our design space. In order to dock one of these windows to a particular portion of the screen, we just hold down our mouse button on the header, where the yellow portion of the header, and then navigate our mouse over any one of these buttons. Once we let go, you'll see that it docks into place, and we can actually resize this as needed. 2 other items that you'll notice on any one of these 2 screens is the little pin and the X mark. What the pin means is that we can unpin this, and this will, as the tooltip shows, auto hide this window from view. We'll have a little header on the side there, and all we need to do is hover our mouse over this, and this will then bring it back into view. And this can be done for either one of those, maximizing our design space. To dock it back into place, we just go and click the pin mark, and then that will always be in view. If at any time we accidentally close one of these panes, they can be brought back into view. Let's take a look at the catalog items first. In order to place catalog items into a design, we need to insert it. So that will be found within the Insert tab. Once I navigate to the Insert tab, you'll see the catalog items option. I just select that and it's brought back into view. In order to bring the navigate view pane back into view, we navigate to our View tab and we click on this button over here. That brings navigate back into view. Let's look a little deeper into catalog items and investigate what each one of these icons mean and what the options are that are available on catalog items. The largest icon that remains the same is the manufacturer product selector. We click on that and that will open up our main catalog. In this case the Fusion QM, the South African generic catalog. This will then list all the items available to add from the Fusion QM. And directly underneath that we have this option for add criteria. The criteria that we're given an option to add over here is filtering criteria. If I click this down, you see that we have depth, description, hand-in, height, item name, length, order code, primary type and secondary type. This means that by selecting any one of these items as a criteria, we can then filter items within our catalog based off the selection made. So item name would be the unit name of a product, and let's use the F1D as an example. You'll note that as I start typing in, it filters through all items within the catalog that hold these values in their unit name. Via backspace there, it resets it back to default and every single item is visible. Other criteria that you could add is primary type or secondary type, and as we then go and use the pull down menu, I can filter through to 4 units, full door units, and that will display all items that fall within those categories. In order to set this back to default, we just can click the filter, reset filter button right at the top there, and it resets everything back to its originals. By clicking this pull down again and selecting remove, we can then remove certain criteria filtering types. Other icons that we have at the top here, wall selector, virtual walls, doors, windows, slope ceilings. This is niches, installations, and grouped units. Looking further down on this section of this pane, here we have item information. So by default we display description, quantity, length, depth, height or floor. There might be a couple of other options available there. And as you see, as we select particular information, it displays what the defaults for these items selected are. We can always add or remove criteria from this particular field in order to make more space. This comes in handy where we have a smaller laptop screen or computer screen and all of a sudden things start getting cut off. If we don't use particular information, say for instance we don't regularly change the height of an item, we can just remove that from our criteria field and only display the information that we need. Down at the very bottom left hand corner, you'll see that we have the single pen tool and the multiple pen tool. These will only be available on the catalog item screen, so we'll be familiar with them from the old interface. Single pen will allow us to add an item from clicking one point to the next, and there it will place one length of the item selected. The multi-pen tool allows us to add items of various shapes. This button over here is the replace selected item, so we go click on a new item. If I click replace, it will replace everything selected in the design with the newly selected item. The second item allows us to link objects to a selected item in the design, and the last one is just to add. So click on the FCarc 500, I click add, and that will then place it into the design. Alright, so that covers the catalog items. Let's have a look at the navigate view. The navigate view pane allows us to manipulate either elevation views or perspective views. So right now there is no information because we don't have any means whereby to navigate in a plan view. If we change our view by using our right click and go into elevation, we're presented with a mini plan. And within the mini plan I can click any one of these walls to make it active, and that will then display the relevant information for that wall. Another view that uses the navigate view is our perspective. So as we change to perspective, we see that the mini plan changes, and this allows us to use two modes of navigation. The first one is from and to, and this allows us, the way that this one works is by using the right click to place our camera and our left click to view in a certain direction. We can zoom in and out on the mini plan so that we can get viewpoints that otherwise aren't easily attainable. And we can also use our left and right. Now this is the same method as the old change view. Here we can click right click over there and left click over there and use our clipping plane slider to clip off geometry that is hiding our viewpoints. This concludes part 1 of getting started with FusionFX. Thank you for watching.